Happy, happy Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. Happy, happy Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Hey, horror fans, and happy Halloween! It's the Horror Miser Money G, and today I'm going to do my first Q&A video session. And because it's Halloween, yay! Now, about 2 weeks ago, I reached over 100 subscribers. I want to thank all you, my horror fans, for supporting me. And I said that I would do for Halloween a Q&A video, and that's what I'm getting ready to do right now. I asked you to answer me questions, whether horror or horror related, and most of them did. I got a few questions, very good questions, some nice, interesting questions, and I'm going to go ahead and read off the questions, who sent the questions, and give very thorough answers. So here we go with my first Q&A question. The first one comes from somebody from Killer's Fix. James Walsh asked me, who is my favorite director and least favorite director? Well, James, very easy. My least favorite director. Now, he didn't specify whether it was horror or horror related, but I'm going to go with Yul Bo. Yul Bo is I'm pretty sure who people know him. He was the one that made that terrible, I think it was House of the Dead movie based upon the video game. He's made some very horrible, terrible movies throughout his time. He's a terrible director, and he really doesn't give a shit what people don't think. But for some reason, he continues to make movies, and I don't know why. The guy can't direct. I hear he's very arrogant, but very arrogant, and he doesn't care what people think about him. But hey, look, the guy still makes movies, and I don't know why, because all his movies suck, big time. So yes, Yul Bo is my least favorite director. Now, as far as my favorite director, I have plenty of them. Um, Again, he didn't specify horror, but I'm going to go with horror first. So obviously my favorite horror director would obviously be the late, great Wes Craven. The man was an incredible genius. He knew how to shape, he knew how to direct, he had great vision in getting all of his characters in place. He knew great vision. Hey, look, if you can make a great horror picture out of a vampire in Brooklyn, because if he didn't direct that movie, the movie would have been worse than it what already is. But because of his direction, he saved a vampire in Brooklyn. But he gave us such great horror pictures. Some of his least known pictures is Serpent and the Rainbow. That's a very great horror picture. Serpent and the Rainbow, obviously, a Nightmare on Elm Street, A New Nightmare, Scream, obviously. The man was such a genius and he was such a great loss to the horror community. So my favorite horror director obviously would be Wes Craven. Now, I don't know if as far as a regular favorite mainstream director, as far as what I have so many of them, but could be Steven Spielberg, could be um, not Francis Coppola, um, Martin Scorsese, J.J. Abrams. There's so many of them out there. So I really don't really actually have a favorite director. But of course, obviously, then of course, with other horror directors, you have James Wan. He's one of the top ones out there. Tobe Hooper, even Steven Spielberg, if you want to throw him in the mix with Poltergeist. But obviously, favorite director would be Wes Craven, and least favorite director would be Yul Bo. God, I can't stand that guy. Once again, from Killer Flicks, I have Troy Lee, and he says, what is your top 5 favorite horror films, and what other genres besides horror do you like? Well, I'll go with other genres besides horror. Obviously, I'm a big action fan film. I love action films. Obviously, thriller films. Love thriller films. Um, Obviously, sci-fi films. Huge Star Wars fan. Huge Star Trek fan. Huge Doctor Who fan. Obviously, the fantasy films. I'm very fan of those. Obviously, huge fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Actually a huge fan of the Harry Potter film series, so I love those type of films. And of course, superhero genres. I mean, I've been into comic books since I was a teenager. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I love what all they've done in the series, and I'm hoping for sure that when the Justice League comes out, that it takes the momentum that Wonder Woman had early this year, and they finally get their act together. Because I was highly disappointed in Batman v Superman, and hopefully that with the Justice League, that they get their foot on in their universe building correctly, because they've done a terrible job with that. So yeah, those are the other genres that I like other than just horror. Horror just being my number one because I grew up with it. Like I said, I love action movies, love fantasy films, uh, love thrillers. I think one of the best thrillers I've seen was was obviously The Sixth Sense, if you want to actually call that a thriller. I really don't call it horror, even though it does have some horror elements in it. It was more of a mystery thriller. There's a movie called Inside. Then you have The Taking of Pelham 123. I like that. Those type of movies. The French Connection. Some of the that star Gene Hackman. Those movies like that. Those type of action mystery shows. So as far as one of my top five horror films, I have it broken down like this. Obviously, the fifth one would be Jaws. That would be number five. The fourth one would be, I would say, The Conjuring. That would be my fourth one. The third one would be Insidious. The second one, I would group them, would call the Universal Monsters. That would be my second. And my number one horror movie would be The Exorcist. You can't get horror any better than The Exorcist. Uh, I have a story. My mother tried her best not for me to watch it because I was young at the time, and she thought that I was too young to see a movie like that. I says, "Mom, that movie's not going to bother me." So I actually watched it when she wasn't there, and of course, despite some of the scenes that you would think probably I think it was 8 or 9 at the time when I probably no 10 or 11 when I first saw it, and you would think that would scare a child like me, but of course, I had a sixth sense of humor when I was a kid. So at the parts that people thought they were funny, I laughed at it. I just thought it was funny. Don't get me wrong. There are still some scenes that are very creepy. And even to this day, they still hold out. The spider walk that she does now. They didn't show the spider walk in the theatrical movie, but they did add it on later on. The spider walk, even today, it still creeps me out. But The Exorcist is my number one, and will probably always be my number one horror movie all time. So those are my top five horror films, and other genres that I like besides horror. Once again, from Killer Flicks, I have Norman Fleming. He asked me, do you take horror movie requests? And if so, I recommend a horror slasher from 1987 called Blood Rage. Well, Norman, one of the things I will be doing, probably, I don't know, if either later on this year or next year, I will take a request from my horror fans. And I'll probably do it once a month, saying, okay, horror fans, I want you to suggest a movie that you would like me to review if I haven't seen it or if I have not seen it. I'll take the requests, put them in the comments section, and then I'll take one of them and I'll watch it if I haven't seen it before, and then I'll do a review on it, and I actually will give you a shout out and say, hey, look, Norman Fleming Jr. requested this movie for me. So I'll give you that much, Norman. So yes, I will actually start doing those requests, probably either later on, probably, I don't know, either probably sometime in November. I might do that for the month of November. I might do a request. I might start doing it next year because I have some great ideas that I have for my channel to even grow even more. Um, but that's something I will start doing from now on, Norman. So good question, by the way. Great question. My next question comes from my dear friend of mine, Horror Girl Susan. Horror Girl Susan asked me, what are your favorite things you do on or around Halloween? Well, Susan, one of the things I used to do before I actually created this channel was watching a whole bunch of horror pictures throughout the month of October, especially when sci-fi started its 31 days of Halloween. I would watch all those crazy behind or crazy as horror movies throughout the entire month of Halloween. Some were pretty good. Some are what they are, just typical bad B movie horror pictures. And I got into some were entertaining, some were not. Um, One of the one things I used to always do was always watch obviously the Hammer movies from all the Christopher Lee Dracula movies from Prince of Darkness, Dracula's Risen from His Grave, Taste the Blood of Dracula, and Dracula AD 1972. I would watch those, and of course I would watch the Universal Horror Pictures. Some of the things I used to always do around this time was to eat a bunch of candy corn. I don't know why, but I love candy corn. Um, Interesting thing, when I was little, I only did trick or treating once. When I was little, I forgot the costume that my brother and my mother bought for us when my brother and I were little. But because at the time during the 70s, there were some very crazy people out there, and they would put types of drugs in children's candies, razor blades, and apples. And my mother just got scared, and she refused to let us go trick or treating anymore. So we had to stop that. But that's basically what I do in and around the Halloween season. Is watch a bunch of horror pictures on the Sci-Fi Channel. Watch all the Dracula pictures from the Hammer production time, and eat a bunch of candy corn. So, Susan, that's basically what I do in and around Halloween. Next, I have Alexandria Vaughn. She has her own YouTube channel, and she asked me a similar question. What are your top three horror movies of all time? Well, Alex, if you're listening to this, you probably know that my top three horror movies of all time will be Insidious, the Universal Monsters, because I grouped them all in one, and of course The Exorcist. So those are my top three horror pictures of all time. Um, I'm surprised no one asked me what are the worst horror pictures I ever seen before. I'm pretty sure somebody will ask me that question. I'll leave that to another day. But those Alex are my top three horror pictures of all time. Will be Insidious, The Universal Monsters, and The Exorcist. Michael Dunn asked me, what type of music do you enjoy the most? Well, Michael, I'm very diverse when it comes to music. I will let you know right now, my favorite musician of all time is the late, great Prince. Basically have all of his songs on my playlist. He was such a master at creating wonderful, great music. I remember when I first saw him in concert, my brother and I went to the Tower Theater on 69th Street, and I think it was the 1999 had came out. We went to his concert there. Obviously, Love Purple Rain. I think I might have seen that so many times. It's such a great loss that we lost such a great musician in Prince. I went to his concert. Actually, it's kind of crazy. My Kelly bought me tickets to his musicology concert when it came to Philly that time, and such a great concert. Dude knows how to. He not only did he know how to make music, he know how to put on a show, and it's such a so sad to see him pass away. But yeah, Prince is my number one musician of all time. But I like other genres too. I mean, obviously, I grew up in the rap era when rap first started back in the '80s, basically from the Sugar Hill Gang, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, or Curtis Blow, and all the old school all the old school rap people up until now. But not just rap songs, but I also like Madonna. I also like Christina Aguilera. I probably mispronounced her name. People be surprised. I actually like Marilyn Manson. I think he does very good music very well. Um, I actually like Imagine Dragons. Their song "Believe" is very good, very good. I have a very diverse taste in music, so that's basically what I have. So it's not. I enjoy almost any type of music as long as the song is good. Next question came from Adam from Films Make Me Scream. He says, "What do you use to edit your videos, and what's your least favorite movie and your least favorite horror movie?" Well, Adam, I now use Shotcut. I think I pronounced it ready. Shotcut. It is a free video editing software that you can easily download. and I've been using it for about a month or two now, and it's very good. Took me a while to get adjusted to it, obviously, and I now makes my obviously my videos will now become a little bit more professional, as opposed to me just holding up my phone like I used to anymore. I've learning how to do little special effects. As soon as I get more creative with this editing tool, I'll be able to add some more features into my videos right now. But it's very good to use. So if that's something you're interested in using, yes, definitely take a look in the shortcut. As far as my least favorite movie and my least favorite horror movie, obviously the horror movie will definitely be easy for me to answer. For anybody who knows, if you know me, people who know me on YouTube or know me around personally, the least favorite horror movie is called The Apparition. Oh God, that movie sucks big time. Oh man, if you ever wanted to waste at least an hour and a half of your lifetime, watch The Apparition. It is the worst horror picture I've ever seen. There is, I should have actually put this up here, but if you ever see the tagline, a tagline is misdirecting. That's first problem. The tagline is a misdirection, and also that scene that you see in the tagline, and I'm going to spoil it because I don't want people to not want you to see it. That scene that you see, or I think her name is Ashley something. I forget the girl's name. Who was it? That's the end of the movie. Yeah, that scene. That if you actually look at that tagline, you see that image that they have for the movie poster. That's the end of the movie. Yeah, yeah. Whoever thought to put that in the end of the movie is stupid, and they need to be fired. I've never seen such a waste of time and a bad movie than The Apparition. And like I said, trust me, I've seen my share of bad movies throughout my lifetime. But when it comes to horror pictures, that's the worst. I have never seen any horror picture worse than The Apparition. Now, Adam, as far as my least favorite movie, uh, I guess it had to be The Wizard of Oz. I mean, yeah, I know it's a classic. You can't deny when it came out, and it's a classic movie, but I just don't like it. I have no desire to see it. Don't want to see it anymore. I have another one called The Sound of Music. I really had to toss it up between those two, between The Sound of Music and The Wizard of Oz. But The Wizard of Oz win. And yeah, I know they're both classic, but I really have no desire to see either of those movies again. I saw it when I was little, but I was a kid. What did I know any better? Yeah, but yeah, those. I guess you'd say yeah. The Wizard of Oz is my least favorite movie, and The Apparition is my least favorite horror movie. All right, so if you hate me, hate me. I'm sorry, but hey, look, I can't feel. That's the way I feel when it comes to movies, and I know those are classics, and the people might scream at me and say, "How can you not like such a classic movie, Monty G? That's such a classic movie." Hey, I just have no desire or no real like in The Wizard of Oz. That's just me. But there you go, Adam. That's my least favorite movie and my least favorite horror movie. Another one of my subscribers, I Kill Your Vibe, wanted to know what remake would I like to see more, a Friday the 13th remake or a Nightmare on Elm Street remake? Well, to Kill Your Vibe, I don't want to see any more remakes off of these two. We see that they tried to make a remake of Friday the 13th, but that got shot down. I think I heard about that about a month ago. We all know about the Friday the 13th remake that came out a few years ago with Jackie Earl, with can't forget the actor's name. And even though I thought he did a pretty good job, the film itself was not very good. The Rooney Mara basically ruined the whole picture as her portrayal of Nancy. We really don't need any more remakes between either one of these two franchises. I'm pretty sure that they will try because, hey, look, Hollywood's going to continue to remake, reboot, or reimagine any of these properties that they have right now, especially when it comes to horror, because that's what Hollywood does now. So whenever the movie studios ever decide what they're going to do as far as what they're going to do with Freddy or Jason, it's going to happen. But I think we've seen enough. There's been enough. We don't need any more. Trust me, I actually wouldn't be surprised if they finally made a sequel to Freddy versus Jason. That might happen before you actually do another reboot, reimagining, or remake of either Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. But to be honest, they really don't need to make any more. If they actually want to remake something, remake the car. That's what I want to see. Yeah, just remake the car, but no more remakes of Freddy or Jason. I think we've had enough of those. Well, that's all the questions I have right now. I'm pretty sure some other people probably had questions. If you do, hey, feel free to ask me anyway, and I'll answer them the best way I can. But that's basically all the questions I've had for right now. I enjoyed the people who went on ahead and answered this question. I hope I answered them to the best of your ability. And if you want me to do another Q&A video, maybe leave your comments down in the comment section. And definitely, I'll do another one. I'll probably do another one, maybe before I actually hit 150, or maybe do another one before I hit 200 subscribers. Because I really love that the people that you supported me, and that's why I wanted to do with this. And I always like to hear suggestions of what more can I do for my channel. So if you want me to do another Q&A, leave your comments down in the comment section below. Well, that's the end of my video right now, and if you did like this video, please hit that thumbs up button for me and share this as well. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscriber button and ring that notification bell. That way you can become part of the horror experience with me, the Horror Miser Monty G. And as usual, all my social media links will be down in the description below as well. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Also, I am with a group called Killer Flicks. We talk about horror all week long, and on Fridays we have Free for All Fridays as well. So come visit me and everybody else here on Killer Flicks on Facebook. Excuse me. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember, horror rules.